Welcome to Life Stories. Today, we invite you to discover a remarkable journey that began with a simple act of kindness at JFK Airport and blossomed into a profound love story. Follow the tale of a caring flight attendant and a visionary real estate developer whose lives intertwined to create a legacy of compassion and hope. Their journey shows us that even the smallest gestures can spark extraordinary change, transcending all boundaries. Subscribe to our channel to begin today's story and join us as we explore the beauty of everyday miracles. Let's start our journey together with Life Stories. Subscribe now to begin your adventure. I still remember that brisk winter morning at John F. Kennedy International Airport as if it were etched in my memory forever. After a grueling 12-hour shift that left every muscle in my body whispering for relief, I was on my way to my next flight, my mind clouded with fatigue and the routine rush of departures and arrivals. Yet, amid the ceaseless hustle of travelers and the echoing announcements overhead, a small act of kindness pulled me out of the mundane and into a moment that would change everything. As I moved through the terminal, my eyes caught sight of an elderly woman, struggling with a heavy rolling suitcase. Her frail frame and the determined set of her face immediately stirred something within me. I approached her gently and offered assistance. "Let me help you with that," I said softly, reaching for the handle of her suitcase. The woman looked up, her grateful blue eyes shining beneath a cascade of silver hair. With a slight tremor in her hands, she replied, "Oh, thank you, dear. These old hands don't work like they used to." I introduced myself as Emily Cooper, and she smiled, a smile that radiated warmth and a quiet resilience. "I'm Evelyn Carter," she said, her voice carrying the gentle lilt of someone who had lived a full life. Evelyn mentioned she was waiting for her son at the lounge after visiting family in Florida, but the confusion of deplaning had left her a little lost in the vast terminal. I couldn't bear to see her struggle any further, so I offered to guide her to a comfortable seating area near the VIP lounge. The simple act of helping her find her way felt profoundly right, as if fate had woven our paths together in that crowded space. As we walked slowly along the polished floors of JFK, I noticed every detail: the way the bright morning light danced on the glass walls, the subtle scent of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the crisp air, and the myriad expressions of travelers, each wrapped in their own stories. I kept my pace steady, mindful of Evelyn's careful steps and the weight of her years. Our conversation drifted effortlessly from small talk about the weather to gentle reflections on the journey of life, each word laced with empathy and a shared understanding of vulnerability. I must confess, in that moment, I felt more connected to Evelyn than I had to many passengers in my career. It was as though her struggles mirrored a deeper longing for connection, a reminder that even amidst the chaos of modern travel, the simplest gestures can be the most profound. I recall her remark, "It's such a blessing to find someone who stops and cares," and it struck me how often we forget the value of kindness in a world that moves too fast. Little did I know that our encounter was being quietly observed from a distance. Evelyn's son, Daniel Carter, lingered near the lounge entrance, his eyes following our every step. I remained oblivious to his watchful presence, focused solely on ensuring Evelyn's comfort. I helped her settle into a plush armchair and carefully placed her luggage within reach, all the while absorbing the quiet gratitude in her voice, a sound that resonated deeply within me. That day, as I resumed my duties with a renewed spirit, I couldn't shake the feeling that our brief meeting was much more than a routine act of service. In that moment of vulnerability and shared humanity, a connection had been forged. A connection that, unbeknownst to me, would ripple through my life in ways I could never have imagined. In the days that followed my encounter with Evelyn, an unexpected twist began to unfurl in my life. I returned to my routine at JFK with a subtle sense of longing, as if that small moment of connection had ignited something within me. It wasn't long before I discovered that I wasn't the only one touched by that morning's encounter. Evelyn's son, Daniel Carter, had found my lost Liberty Airlines ID, a card that had slipped unnoticed from my pocket, and his gesture of returning it sparked an entirely new chapter. One crisp afternoon, as I was finishing up a late flight, a neatly handwritten note found its way into my hands along with the ID. The note expressed Daniel's heartfelt gratitude for my kindness toward his mother and invited me for coffee. I vividly remember the pause that followed reading those sincere words. My heart both fluttered with anticipation and steadied with cautious hope. I wondered how a simple act could ripple into something far more meaningful. Daniel's invitation was gentle and unassuming, yet it carried the weight of an unspoken promise of connection. Our first meeting took place at a cozy cafe near the waterfront, where the soft hum of conversation and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee created a serene atmosphere. As I entered, I recognized him immediately. Daniel had an earnest gaze and an easy smile that immediately put me at ease. We talked for hours, our conversation flowing naturally from shared experiences of long journeys to deeper reflections on life, love, and the fragility of human connections. In that intimate space, the differences between our worlds began to blur. His life as a successful real estate developer and my days spent among the ever-changing skies converged in moments of shared vulnerability and laughter. Despite our burgeoning connection, challenges soon began to surface. I was soon assigned to a prestigious London route, a dream opportunity that came with its own set of bittersweet sacrifices. The thought of leaving behind the familiar buzz of JFK, and more importantly, the promise of this new relationship, weighed heavily on my mind. Meanwhile, Daniel's world remained grounded in New York, his life anchored by family and business. The looming prospect of a long-distance relationship stirred both hope and apprehension within us. Over time, small cracks appeared as our exchanges, once brimming with the warmth of real discovery, became interspersed with moments of uncertainty and the echo of unspoken fears. One afternoon, as we found ourselves in the hushed quiet of his downtown office, Daniel's frustration became palpable. The tension between the pull of our hearts and the reality of our separate paths was undeniable. I sensed his inner turmoil as he admitted, almost in a whisper, that he was terrified of losing what had just begun between us. It was in that raw moment of vulnerability that I realized love is not simply a series of perfectly orchestrated dates or declarations. It's the willingness to navigate uncertainty, to trust in the beauty of genuine connection despite the odds. That day, as I walked away with a heavy mix of hope and trepidation, I couldn't help but wonder if fate, with all its gentle nudges, would guide us through the coming challenges. As time went by, our connection deepened in ways I never anticipated. The tender moments we had shared evolved into a bond that intertwined our lives, our hopes, and our dreams. Daniel's unwavering belief in the power of kindness and my steadfast commitment to serving others at every turn led us to a turning point, one that would not only change our relationship but also create a lasting legacy. I recall the day vividly. It was an unusually warm autumn afternoon when Daniel sat me down in his spacious yet tastefully decorated office downtown. The soft light filtering through the tall windows seemed to spotlight his earnest expression. With a quiet determination, he explained how that singular act of compassion, helping Evelyn at the airport, had inspired him beyond measure. He had taken that moment to heart, and it spurred him to establish a foundation that could spread the very kindness he had witnessed. Thus, the Evelyn Carter Travelers Assistance Foundation was born, a network designed to support elderly travelers across major American airports by offering warm, comfortable lounges, personalized assistance, and a haven of empathy amidst the rush of modern travel. Listening to him speak about his vision, I felt an overwhelming sense of pride and purpose. Here was a man who recognized that genuine human connection could transcend even the vast gaps between our worlds. While my work as a flight attendant had always been about facilitating safe journeys, Daniel's project aimed to ensure that every traveler, especially the elderly, experienced the dignity and care they deserved. In that moment, I saw our love not as a detour from our individual paths, but as a convergence, one that enriched both our personal lives and the community at large. The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. I juggled my duties on the transatlantic routes while also stepping into a new role as a key advisor for the foundation. Balancing flights and foundation meetings was challenging, but every conversation and planning session reminded me of the profound lessons we had learned about empathy, perseverance, and the importance of community. Daniel and I spent countless evenings discussing not just strategies and logistics, but also our dreams for a world where every act of kindness could ripple into lasting change. We would sit by the window overlooking the city, the lights of New York twinkling like stars, and share our visions for a future built on genuine care. During one such evening, as we talked about the upcoming launch of a new airport lounge at JFK, I realized that our journey was more than just the sum of our individual efforts. It was a testament to the transformative power of compassion. The foundation, with its expanding network of support services, began to touch the lives of countless travelers. Stories poured in of gratitude from those who had felt seen and cared for during stressful journeys. Each message reinforced my belief that our work was meaningful. In those moments, as Daniel reached for my hand across the table, I felt a deep sense of connection that transcended distance and circumstance. Our love had evolved into something far greater than I had ever imagined, a legacy of kindness built on the simple yet profound act of helping a stranger in need. And as we looked forward to new beginnings and challenges, I knew that together we were paving the way for a future where every journey, no matter how far or fleeting, could be made a little brighter by compassion. In the end, our journey of unexpected connections, deep love, and a shared vision of kindness brought us to a beautiful crossroads. As I stood in the quiet glow of the newly inaugurated airport lounge, named in honor of Evelyn Carter, I couldn't help but marvel at how one small act of assistance had transformed countless lives. From the early days at JFK, where a weary flight attendant helped an elderly traveler, to the creation of a foundation that now stands as a beacon of empathy for those navigating life's transitions, every moment was woven together by a common thread: the power of genuine human connection. Daniel's proposal, spoken softly amidst the tender hum of the renovated lounge, was more than a declaration of love. It was a promise to nurture compassion, to build a legacy where care and kindness lead the way. Our personal journey merged with our professional dreams, proving that even in a world defined by deadlines and distances, the heart knows no boundaries. We learned that love grows not only through grand gestures, but also through everyday acts of thoughtfulness, reminders that every smile, every kind word, and every helping hand can spark a change that reverberates far beyond the moment. Now, as I reflect on this incredible chapter of our lives, I invite you to join us in celebrating the beauty of life's unexpected moments and the power of kindness. If you enjoyed our story and want to hear more about these life-changing experiences, please subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for new videos from Life Stories, where every tale is a testament to the magic of everyday compassion. Thank you for being part of our journey.